crashing around here. Don't hear it right now, but something's out here with me. Well, here we go. Start of our 2025-2026 season. Just out this morning, or this afternoon here, I guess, putting out some wolf sets. We've been placing some bait, kind of all hunting season, bunch of butcher scraps and whatnot. And I've had a camera here at this one little intersection for, I don't know, a couple months, and it's seen a lot of traffic. So it's been a pack of wolves running around here. 8 wolves we've seen here this week. So in a couple weeks we got some cat hunting starting, so we don't really want these wolves around here. They'll kind of get at our cat dogs there, so don't want that. So we're going to try and clean up a few of these wolves before that gets started. But in this intersection here, a month or two ago, I come and I just dumped a pail of water here that we were boiling skulls in, dumped it on a pile of grass, and we've had dozens of animals stop and mark their territory on there. And these wolves here have been coming in and out of the bush. There's no real good trails, but they've been through there several times. There's a little skiff of snow we had here yesterday, and if you look right in there, the grass is packed down pretty good where they've been going in a couple trails. So we just put a half a dozen snares in there. I set up a couple of footholds over here. I forgot my one bin. This got my lures, so I just used some dog bedding on that one. We'll have to lure it up when we come across in a couple days. But anyways, we're about 1 kilometer away from our bait station, so we're gonna go hang some snares around there. This little skiff of snow here yesterday has definitely been good. It's gonna show us some trails. Wolves were howling last night. We could hear them from the house, so hopefully we got some nice trails to set up on. Let's get over there. Well, we just got over to one of the bait stations here. Well, it's the only one we got so far, but wolves have been around here. It actually looks like this afternoon their tracks are barely melted out at all. It's pretty warm. So anyways, the bait's in there. They haven't been in right to it, so we either got some full bellies or just too much smell around there for them. So, but they've cleaned this station up 3 or 4 times here. Butcher scraps, moose hides, stuff like that. So when I come over here, this little skiff of snow that we have, you know, you can see in there some trails. Can't tell from here if there's fresh footprints, but anyways, grab some more rigging and go set up some snares here. Not far from here, a friend saw some big grizzly tracks. Sow and 2 cubs. He said some of the biggest he's ever seen. So we're gonna load up and pack some heat with us today, because you never know. Okay, let's get some sets made. Well, got a bunch of snares hung. Doesn't take long in this area. I've used this bait station for about 4 years in a row, so most of my hanging wires are still there. And I actually leave a bunch of snares hanging in the tree there, closed up, so it goes pretty quick. You can get 20 snares hanging in a hurry. But anyways, forgot my lures and stuff and a few other trinkets, but just did a foothold here. Last of my dog bedding, and there was a old skull here and that oil jug. I've noticed last couple of years, I don't know, wolves and coyotes and stuff, they always seem to check out that oil jug. So made a little pile. I got some beaver meat stuffed in the sinus cavity of that skull, so we'll see. Not ideal, but making a mess around here, but there's lots of traffic around here anyway, so we'll see. I'm gonna go down the road a ways, and there's kind of a low area that they seem to travel every year, so I'm just gonna go hang some blind sets in there, see what happens. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. They've definitely been around, so a few more to hang. Let's go do it. Well, got down in this lower area here, and we're a couple 100 yards from our bait station. And I think, you know, there's a newer slash here that's maybe, I don't know, 6-7 years old. Here's a plantation that's, you know, 20 years old, and they travel right sort of along this route. There's a wetlands area that they never logged, and the wolves seem to travel along here. I've caught a few here before, but I just come in, and yeah, they've already been down this trail, so I'm just gonna set up a few blind sets along here and see how it goes until it freezes up. It's just so bloody wet across here this year. Until it freezes up and get the sled across, I can't get too many more of my bait stations set up. For some reason, there seemed to be a lot of traffic this hunting season. Lots of side-by-sides and quads and stuff in back here. And everybody's got a right to be here, but it's just odd that there was so much more this year than usual. So the road got mudded up pretty good. Plus we had a pretty wet fall there. The last bit of hunting season there was pretty wet. So anyways, let's get a few blind sets. I only got a half a dozen more snares with me. Just grabbed a couple of bags today, so we'll get going. Well, just pulling the camera out. Talk about these clips here, but something crashing around here. Kind of on high alert after hearing about Buddy and his grizzly bear tracks he saw real close to here, so something a couple 100 yards away, but big enough to be crashing in the bush. Don't hear nothing right now, but anyways, I was going to talk about these old clips. I kind of got away from these the last couple of years. I started using them, old dollar store closed pegs, I guess, is what they are. But, you know, I put them up in a tree and they're nice and quick. They don't flutter in the wind or nothing. They work good for that. But what I find is as soon as the snow starts falling, you can't see them. Too hard to see. It ain't bad on a little tree like this, where you can sort of see it from all around, 360 degrees. But you start getting on a bigger tree, and if you got to hang it like that, well, you can only see it from one side of the tree. A ribbon's going to do the same thing, but I try and get a ribbon wrapped right around for that exact reason. But I always try and stick them on a smaller tree here. So they work not bad. But the other thing is, after a couple of winters sitting out in the sun, they start getting bleached down, a little bit white, so harder to see. But anyways, we got a couple of snares hanging in here. We're gonna go a little bit farther and put a few more in, but also gonna be listening to what the heck is making that noise. Don't hear it right now, but something's out here with me. Driving out here and noticed some tracks on this frozen puddle, and not really sure what they are. They're only about, 6-8 inches apart, a couple inches across. Doesn't really look like dog or cat of any sort, but they're a little bit melted out, so hard to tell. But lots of critters out here. Pretty cool. Well, we're just on our way out and noticed some wolf tracks. Didn't notice them on the way in, but they were there. But anyways, they're kind of heading out. We're a kilometer or so away from our baits and stuff, so I don't know. It's like anytime I notice that, they're kind of moving out of the area. Before I started wolf trapping here a few years ago, some old timers were telling me wolves are kind of on a 3-week cycle, and I find it pretty much the same thing. Pretty much bang on every 3 weeks they make their rounds through our area here. Sometimes they stick around for a bit. This time, we're bringing some bait across with the grandkids probably 2 weeks ago now, and stopped and checked trail camera, and a wolf had walked past in front of us there like 40 minutes before we got there. So they've been hanging out in this area quite a long time, so it's possible they'll still be kicking around, but whatever. We got some snares hanging and they'll be back. They always are. So see how things go, but we're gonna start marten trapping here probably in a couple weeks. My parents and my sister went out a couple days ago and they cleared out a couple of beaver dams there. The roads were flooded out, so see if we can't get in there. The roads are pretty bad lately, and it's like we gotta wait till things freeze up and get in there with the sleds, but might try and get in there with the side-by-sides yet. We'll see. See how much time we have. But anyways, I think we're gonna wrap this one up here. Snares are set. Got 4 footholds out, and see how it goes. We're still pretty warm out. As you can see, nothing's froze up very tight, but got to get across here a few times now. We got footholds out here. Every couple days we got to get out here, so something to do. Right on. Okay, we're gonna keep heading out of here and see you on the next one. Thanks.